The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click. The internet is for porn. Welcome to Sexy Time.
We touched ourselves last night, pre-flight. Every week we...
Zero.
And I think it's gonna be a sexy time. Yeah. I don't know.
Please clip that for him. I guess I could.
I'm bringing
sexy back.
You're pretty goddamn sexy, so bringing sexy back. Oh. Zero, thank you for the diamond.
All right.
I'm pumped. I'm sorry.
You did a good job. I like the what's it called? Tights?
Garter belt? The thigh highs?
Oh, it's the those are thigh highs. Oh my.
Yeah. I have a garter belt on. Wait. Let's see if I can do that. Show your lemons. You're going to show me many ice creams.
I will show you many ice creams.
Show me your ice cream. Show me your ice cream. Oh.
Thank you. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
Oh my god. This is a Russian mail order bride. I love it.
I am not mail order bride. I am polyamorous. Any man want to put up with me? I'm Russian polyamorous girl.
This is a weird. This isn't that
sexy. Oh, you like
but...
the whip? You want? Okay. I like the.
Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
So good. Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too. Yugoslavian.
You'd think I was actually drinking, but I'm not.
Well, thank you for those lemon ices. You're pretty goddamn sexy too. Enjoy your dinner.
You're really goddamn sexy.
That's your favorite song. You like the lemon sound, don't you?
Goddamn sexy.
I do. And I'm a masochist, so I made it so people can't spam it, but but I love it.
I think that's a wise choice, BK.
I know. Oh.
That choice is pretty goddamn sexy.
Thank you,
Please,
Coin.
somebody clip BK making that sound.
No. But
I think I could clip it.
Ah, crap.
This is right up my alley. As they say in Asia Town, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. Oh, that's what I've heard anyway. And clitoral is more common than the other one, I believe. And so from what I was, from knowing that information, from my vast experience of asking women about their clit and their insides, their vagina. Yes, I always do that. Every first date. Talk to me about your clit and your vagina. I'm sorry. It was there. Instead of, exactly.
Oh,
that's what happened. Spider Josh, Spider Jace, Spider Josh, Spider Jace, does whatever a Spider Jace.
The one in quotes or the
Whatever
whole
you
thing?
want.
The whole thing. I like the whole thing, baby.
All right, the whole thing. Need to poop in that first year together? Dear God, lock the door, turn on the faucet, and pray they don't know you shit. After 5 years or so, need to poop, doors open, lights are on, and someone yells, "Honey, bring the camera!" It's an evolution.
Thank you, Jason Joe. You're awesome, dude. You're great, and that's why we made this. We work well together. I'll be happy to do that.
It's true. It's true. And you know what I have to say to what's going on in the chat right now? Oh, Monster J.
You in trouble? Are you okay? That's the safe word. Are you okay?
No, she says everybody should just yell Monster J in the bedroom.
Okay, good. Well, I was adopting it as my new safe word.
I'm in my bedroom.
As soon as I hear Monster J now, I'm like, wait a second, alert, safe word been activated.
No, I'm in my bedroom, so I had to yell, "Oh, Monster J."
I'm in my bedroom too. Monster J.
Do it.
Oh, Monster
No.
J.
Yell it.
Oh, Monster J. Oh. Thank you, Monster J.
Somebody needs to clip that.
I love it because the nice thing is it's in Japan, so they might think it's something else.
Join us on our live stream. Right now, we've got some people still hanging out with us who are going to keep hanging out with us.
The party doesn't stop when the podcast stops. So if you want to be part of the party, you can always join us over at dlive.tv/sexytime. If you decide you want to subscribe to our channel, you can also join us afterwards for a no holds barred, very sexy, private conversation where you get to interact with me and BK in video. And it's a really, really fun, amazing time. I was having such a blast last week, and I can't wait to see who's going to be in our Pillow Talk tonight. In the meantime, don't forget, you can always submit your questions to us at sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's sexytimedlove@gmail.com. You can record a voice memo. You can write it out, whatever you want. We're happy to take your questions. Welcome to Sexy Time.
The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click. The internet is for porn.
Welcome to Sexy Time.
We touched ourselves last night, pre-flight. Every week we...
0.
And I think it's gonna be a sexy time. Yeah. I don't know.
Please clip that
I'm
for
bringing
him.
sexy
I guess I
back.
could.
I'm bringing sexy
I'm bringing
back.
sexy back.
You're pretty goddamn sexy, so bringing sexy back. Oh. 0, thank you for the diamond.
All right.
I'm pumped. I'm sorry.
You did a good job. I like the what's it called? Tights?
Garter belt? The thigh highs?
Oh, it's the oh, those are thigh highs. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a garter belt on. Wait. Let's see if I can do that. Show your lemons. You're going to show me many ice creams.
I will show you many ice
Show me your
creams.
ice cream. Show me your ice cream. Oh.
Thank you. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
Oh my god. This is a Russian mail order bride. I love it.
I am not mail order bride. I am polyamorous. Any man want to put up with me? I'm Russian polyamorous girl.
This is a weird. This isn't that
Oh,
sexy.
you like
but...
the whip? You want okay? I like the.
Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
So good. Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too. Yugoslavian.
You'd think I was actually drinking, but I'm not.
Well, thank you for those lemon ices. You're pretty goddamn sexy too. Enjoy your dinner.
You're really goddamn sexy.
That's your favorite song. That's you like the lemon sound, don't you?
Goddamn sexy. I do. And I'm a masochist, so I made it so people can't spam it, but but I love it.
I think that's a wise choice, BK.
I know. Oh.
That choice is pretty goddamn sexy.
Thank you,
Please,
Coin.
somebody clip BK making that
No.
sound.
No. But
I think I could clip it.
ah, crap.
This is right up my alley. As they say in 𝐬𝐻𝐸𝐿, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. Oh, that's what I've heard anyway. And clitoral is more common than the other one, I believe. And so from what I was, from knowing that information, from my vast experience of asking women about their clit and their insides, their
Oh, yeah?
vagina. Yes, I always do that. Every first date. Talk to me about your clit and your vagina. I'm sorry. It was there. Instead of, oh, exactly.
Oh,
That's
why
what happened.
does-
Spider Josh, Spider Jace, Spider Josh, Spider Jace, does whatever a Spider Jace.
The one in quotes or the
Whatever
whole
you
thing?
want.
The whole thing. I like the whole thing, baby.
All right, the whole thing. Need to poop in that first year together? Dear God, lock the door, turn on the faucet, and pray they don't know you shit. After 5 years or so, need to poop, doors open, lights are on, and someone yells, "Honey, bring the camera!" It's an evolution.
Thank you, Jason Mitchell. You're awesome. Dude. You're great, and that's why we made this. We work well together. I'll be happy to do that.
It's true. It's true. And you know what I have to say to what's going on in the chat right now? Oh, Monster J.
Are you in trouble? Are you okay? That's the safe word. Are you okay?
No, she says everybody should just yell Monster J in the bedroom.
Okay, good. Well, I was adopting it as my new safe
I'm
word.
in my bedroom.
As soon as I hear Monster J now, I'm like, wait a second, alert, safe word been activated.
No, I'm in my bedroom, so I had to yell, "Oh, Monster
Oh,
J."
I'm in my bedroom too. Monster J.
Do it.
Oh, Monster
No.
J.
Yell it.
Oh, Monster J. Oh. Thank you, Monster J.
Somebody needs to clip that.
I love it because
Monster,
the
Monster,
nice
Monster,
thing is,
Monster J.
the nice thing is it's in Japan, so they might think it's something else.
Join us on our live stream. Right now, we've got some people still hanging out with us who are going to keep hanging out with us. The party doesn't stop when the podcast stops. So if you want to be part of the party, you can always join us over at dlive.tv/sexytime. If you decide you want to subscribe to our channel, you can also join us afterwards for a no holds barred, very sexy, private conversation where you get to interact with me and BK in video. And it's a really, really fun, amazing time. I was having such a blast last week, and I can't wait to see who's going to be in our Pillow Talk tonight. In the meantime, don't forget, you can always submit your questions to us at sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's sexytimedlove@gmail.com. You can record a voice memo. You can write it out, whatever you want. We're happy to take your questions. Welcome to Sexy Time.
The
Remind-
internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click. The internet is for porn.
Welcome to Sexy Time.
We touched ourselves last night, pre-flight. Every week we...
0.
And I think it's gonna be a sexy time. Yeah. I don't know.
Please clip that
I'm
for
bringing
him.
sexy
I guess I
back.
could.
I'm bringing
I'm
sexy
bringing
back.
sexy back.
You're pretty goddamn sexy, so bringing sexy back. Ah. 0, thank you for the diamond.
All right.
I'm pumped. I'm sorry.
You did a good job. I like the what's it called? Tights?
Garter belt, the thigh highs.
Oh, it's the oh, those are thigh highs. Oh my.
Yeah, yeah, I have a garter belt on. Wait. Let's see if I can do that. Show your lemons. You're going to show me many ice creams.
I will
You're
show you
going
many
to
ice
show me your
creams.
ice cream. Show me your ice cream. Oh.
Thank you. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
Oh my god. This is a Russian mail order bride. I love it.
I am not mail order bride. I am polyamorous. Any man want to put up with me? I'm Russian polyamorous girl.
This is a weird. This isn't that
Oh,
sexy.
you like
but
the whip? You want okay? I like the.
Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too.
It's so good. Thank you for the ice cream. You are pretty goddamn sexy too. Yugoslavian.
You'd think I was actually drinking, but I'm not.
Well, thank you for those lemon ices. You're pretty goddamn sexy too. Enjoy your dinner.
You're really goddamn sexy.
That's your favorite song. That's you like the lemon sound, don't you?
Goddamn sexy.
I do. Hello.
Hello. Is this thing on?
This on?
Testing.
You try to make a big announcement and then everything just breaks. But thank you for your patience, everybody.
Broke.
The mics, the time. We broke time. What's up, Web?
No.
What's up, 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐵? Thanks for being here.
Nothing's broken.
Hello there.
Hello. We have Webster Games. We've got 𝐬𝐻𝐵 here in the audience. Good to see you guys. Hello. I'm going to like this episode, even though I don't actually like this episode. Right now.
But like it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I did. Thank you. Yeah. But
Maybe we should wait a little while.
Wait a little while?
The announcement,
yeah.
See if anybody else shows up. So we don't have to announce it 800 times.
I
If
know.
you're hanging out and you're lurking, let us know that you're here. So that we don't just sit around waiting forever to tell people what we have to tell people, which is actually quite a lot.
Yeah, we do. Good thing
But
we're
how have you
recording
been
it.
this week, BK?
Busy AF. It's fucking. Oh, I can swear. Yeah, busy as fuck.
Thank you, YouTube, for giving us a home to swear. We appreciate you.
But yeah.
Namaste.
I mean, just yesterday, I was like thinking, okay, good. I had some time yesterday, but I scheduled around a doctor's appointment that would probably just take 2 hours, and it ended up taking almost 6 something. So I was like, oh,
That's
my
an
day is
insane
shot.
length of time for a doctor's appointment.
I know.
Like, did you have X-rays and blood work and
No,
MRIs
I
and
did have-
CAT scans? Like, that's what you should have been able to accomplish in that amount of time.
It was pure incompetence because I did talk to my wife about it. I was like, what the hell? She's like, yeah, it was stupid. I think it's incompetence or, again, racism because they realized I didn't know Japanese well enough to, and they can get away with it on me. I don't know. But like with...
Did they speak Japanese to you?
Oh, yeah, of course. And I was speaking Japanese mostly to them. But, like, sometimes when I don't understand, or especially reading, because there's, like, difficult hospital Chinese characters and jargon for science and health where I'm like, okay, there's no way I'm going to know these. So, like, I need some help sometimes, So, anyway, they knew that I was struggling on some things. But anyway, here's an example of how it's definitely incompetence. So, at the end, when I was talking to the doctor, he's like, okay, we're going to do some blood work, and then let's schedule for you next week to like, you know, reconvene and check the blood work together. From that point, and it's like, and after that, you just go home. So you just go take your blood and then go home, right? Type of thing. It took like I was waiting outside for like an hour for that to just set up the blood work, to set up that. And then when I was like getting annoyed saying, okay, this is weird. I thought maybe there was something and maybe I misunderstood what he said. So I went up to the nurse and said, hey, I talked to the doctor and he said this. So am I rating in the wrong area or am I supposed to go to the blood work now and go home? And she's like, oh yeah, here it is. And then I go up to the blood work place where you put in the card because I needed the card to do it. There's like this system. So you get in the card there and the card, I put it in the machine and it's like, nothing's happening, which normally doesn't happen. I need a number so I can get my blood work done. And then I went to the nurse with the blood work and she said, okay, well, we'll get that set up for you. Okay, here. And then I was waiting for my number and then she came to me and said, oh, we need to get confirmation from your doctor because we need to confirm exactly what we need to test for. There's a lot here. And I was like, oh, what the hell? It's been like an hour and almost like a half at that point. So things like that where it's like, oh, and then right after they did that, it worked in the machine right away. But it was just like incompetence for some reason. So just wasting a lot of my time.
I'm
so
sorry that happened to you.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, like, but those things can happen. And so, yeah, and I was also busy, other stuff. But yeah, how are you doing?
I've been all over the world since I saw you last.
I know.
It's been wild. I've not stopped working since I saw you last. So that's been a thing. Wait, did we do a show last week?
We didn't.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, that's why.
Like the first time ever.
That's right. Okay,
It's true.
that's why I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember what happened there. I wonder, maybe, you know, so
yeah.
I guess we should talk about this. And also we're going to have to talk about it in a more concise form, maybe when we start recording the podcast part.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like wanting to just put again, hey at everyone.
Here, I'll make a poll just for fun.
We're about to make a big announcement. Did you put it on Zero's thing?
I did, yeah. Go ahead and pop that in there. Yeah, sent message that. I just made a joke poll because I wanted to. Don't worry, we'll take it down soon. Do your thing. Do your thing.
You put up a poll?
Yeah, you can read it if you want. Just want to see who would click. Oh yeah, I like it. Click away, people. Click.
What am I doing right now? What's
You're messaging,
the link for this?
Messaging.
I need the link for this. Let's see.
Link it.
There.
Oh, thanks, Web. Yeah. Things aren't as great as they could be. But you know, life goes on. As long as it's not over till we say it's over.
Oh blah dee, oh blah da, life goes on. Oh, la da, how the life goes on.
Yeah.
There we go.
In a couple of years, we will build our home sweet home.
Yeah, no kids in the yard, please. Thank you.
With no kids in the yard.
Well,
And-
you can have kids in your yard and I'll come visit them, but no kids between the two of us. That's just not going to happen.
BK and Alice Jones. Keeping up with the Joneses.
I'm not taking anybody's name.
No, it's just for the show. Just for the show.
Oh, right.
Johnsen. Close enough.
Oh, that's funny.
With an
Oh,
E,
I
just
have
to
to do
fuck up
this?
everybody. All right, good. We go. Yeah, vote on that poll for fun, everybody.
You're ridiculous.
You know, why not?
You're ridiculous.
I'll appropriately vote
people.
since I have control. 45.
Giving you 2 more seconds to get your pineys over here for this announcement. So this is why we're doing this. Well, this is one of the major reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start talking. What do you think?
Whenever you feel it. Yeah. Go. I like it.
So some things have happened. Some things just haven't really, like, we're recognizing here on the live stream that we haven't been really growing our live stream audience very organically. Everybody here is wonderful, and but we still mostly have our old DLive audience, which is great. We love you guys, and we know that some of you listen to this in its podcast format already. And we really appreciate you. We appreciate all of you who've been here, either as Patreon or just as viewers or as questioners or as lurkers. We're so grateful for almost all of you. I will say that there are some lurkers maybe that we're not always grateful for, but that's another story altogether. And I guess that's really part of it for me. We're first of all, before I say this, let me preface by saying we are continuing with Sexytime. Sexytime will go on. I will also be a host. BK will also be a host. We're going to continue with Sexytime as the two of us, the co-hosts that you know and love. We're not going anywhere. However, this is as far as I know going to be my last live stream for the foreseeable future. As some of you know, I've had some safety concerns for over a year now. Really, they started about a year and a half ago, but they came to a head a little like a year and a few months ago. And they've crept into Sexytime, and they those safety issues feel very threatening to me and to my life, and I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be afraid anymore, and I don't think I can completely stop that from happening. I'm not gonna go hide in a hole somewhere, but live streaming is where this all began, and live streaming seems to be another portal for people to be able to watch me live. And the great majority of you, I want to be able to watch me live. Unfortunately, there's one person I really don't want to be able to watch me live, and now that I know that he does, I'm out. I need to bow out for my own sanity and for my own safety. And that's all I want to say about that, because I don't want to give it any more attention. Honestly, it deserves zero attention. This person deserves nothing from me, ever. And I'm sorry that rabbit wormhole didn't work out. I was hoping it would be a nice way to escape and to be able to continue to do these things that I love with you guys. And unfortunately, it was not good enough. I'm not terribly surprised. We did keep the name of the show as Sexytime. It's not like we terribly hit it. But now that comments are starting to be made here, I don't feel safe I don't even feel safe right at this moment. But I wanted to come and do one last show with you guys. So anyway, that's that side of the story. That's why I didn't want to talk about this tonight. I didn't want to do this episode tonight. But I felt like after everything we've been through, even though we're going to continue on the show, and sorry, we'll get to that in just a second. It does not have to be all doom and gloom, please. But it's really hard for me to bow out as a live streamer right now, and that's what I feel I have to do for my own sanity and for my own safety. So I'm sorry to have to leave, and I'm so grateful for every one of you. Whether you have been here since the beginning, whether you just showed up last week, if you're a fan of the show, if you're a fan of any of my previous shows, whatever, it doesn't really matter. If you're a fan of BK's shows, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for all your support. And live streaming really saved my life during COVID. But the results of one person's behavior have really disrupted my life, and I'm not okay with it, and I'm bowing out because nothing is worth feeling unsafe and hypervigilant and scared all the time. Nothing's worth that, as much as I love you guys. So it's not the only reason that we're doing this transition. We're going to do a transition because we felt organically like it was time for the show to transition. Both BK and I have very busy lives right now, and it's really difficult for both of us to have a regular schedule every single Tuesday, especially with my airline job, but also I have 3 jobs, and it's going to become increasingly difficult this fall with singing again. So it just seemed like the right thing to do at this time, not only for me to bow out, but for the two of us to transition the show into more of just the regular podcast that half of it has already become.
Yeah.
BK.
I'd like to say first, we love you, Alice. You epitomize, encapsulate exactly what we've been doing here for over 2 years now. 3? Is it a 3? It's only been 3. So
since we started on D Live anyway, before we came to
yeah, obviously over 3 years we've had a lot of questions about relationships and beginnings, endings, breakups, or changes and shifts, and I think you really just epitomized that, where that's basically the thing. You've talked about it before, where you've had breakups, good and bad, right? Or endings of relationships, good and bad. And I want to say that that's what I was basically feeling right there, where it's like, you don't want to have to do this. But to honor the 3 years of awesomeness of us staying together and so still being there with Sexytime and what we've done and met through all of you who are still looking and listening. Again, we do have a very consistent podcast audience as well. There's ways to look at that, not just on YouTube, but on Spotify and Apple and other places. So wherever they're listening as well. Amazon. Again, this is the live stream. Yeah. So Amazon. Yeah. Even
pretty much
Stitcher,
anywhere you get your podcasts, really, it's everywhere.
Podbean. Yeah. So like basically we've seen that, and a lot of people listen to the podcast more than what we're doing right here too, Sue. So sometimes it goes back and forth depending on the episode. But again, as I was saying, what you just said really touched true to that, where it's like, you don't like that the shifting or changing of relationships. I talk about often ebbs and flows, being married for this many years. I talk about that all the time. You will experience in any relationship, whether it's consistently in that marriage aspect, in a just a partner aspect, or friend, or any relationship, it's going to have things like this. And you did it in an amazing way. It takes a lot of courage, awesomeness. I don't know. There's a lot of positive words I could slip in there, but I just want to say thank you for being so open with that, and
thank you.
For the people who aren't who deserve it and need to hear it.
I do really think that a change like this, when you transition any kind of relationship, you got to go out to dinner and celebrate what you've had.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me that that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, you get in that mode, and you're. I mean, there's a reason why you're so fucking awesome at this. But on a note to all the listeners, again, thank you, and watchers, thank you so much. But the other thing, as we often do here on Sexytime, I will say a message for you as well. Like for any of you, since this is a transition where we're going to switch to a more podcast version, but for any of you who hear or see this or listen to this, I do think a big takeaway for all of you that's universal is that anything you fear can have some control over you. So hold on to like fearing, like not fearing nothing, not fearing. It's not like fearing has anything to do with being careful or wise. So it's why we always say stay sexy and stay safe. And I think this is part of it, where this is the wise and careful move that we have to make due to this. And it's not like and that's why it's that fine line of like, this is not deserving as that much attention, because it's not deserving as the fear. It's like, we need to be, practicing safe sex and practicing safe life. That's what we talk about all the time. And that's why we say, stay sexy, stay safe. And I would say that's the takeaway message for all of you, is that, overcome that fear with love is what we're doing, actually. And that's basically what's going on right now, is we have to overcome fear with love. And it comes from all of you too, because the reason we keep going on is, one, me and Alice are wanting to do this and we love it. But also, if it was only getting shitty attention, or it was all crap, we wouldn't continue doing it. We'd have to work on something else together, because Alice and I are awesome together. And we were shown that through you. And so please continue to be your awesome selves and overcome your fears with love, is what I take away from this change, me personally.
And while we're here, let's just do a little shout out to the original Singular Infinity and Captain Morgana, who were with us at the beginning of all of this, and who helped us start all of this in the first place. Whatever's going on in your lives, we love you. We hope you're well. We wish you the best. We miss you. And we want all good things for both of you. So much love to you. Thanks for being with us at the beginning.
I miss them.
Yeah, they're good humans.
But
we're all, we all go through our own stuff, and I'm grateful that they spent some of their time with us. It was good.
What a journey we've been on.
Yeah, no kidding.
Everybody. And
right. Thank you. And huge thanks to those of you who've really kept us going all this time. You know who you are, but I would say those of you who are here in the chat right now, our patrons, anybody who's ever been a patron, whether your card got declined or you had a life change and you're not able to support us anymore, hey, we're so grateful for you. We're so grateful for your support of the show ever. Today, tomorrow, yesterday, it's all appreciated. Yeah,
we need,
I guess.
Okay, go.
Well, we have to go into podcast mode.
Oh yeah,
right?
We do. Yeah.
So maybe we should start that, so that while we're doing that, we can explain like specifically what the changes are going to be, because I'm not going to go in the podcast into this whole drama.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live stream anymore stuff, because I don't want to do that twice.
Yeah.
And also, I was really saving that for the live stream audience, because I fucking love you guys and I'll miss you terribly. And I hate that I have to stop streaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can share with everybody now how the podcast is going to look.
Yeah.
Does that feel good?
Yeah.
Anybody else want to say anything in the chat that you want us to respond to before we go into the podcast? Please feel free to do that now if you want. But we're gonna do a real show tonight. We're gonna do a regular show, a couple questions. Do we have a soapbox we wanted to do tonight too?
Yeah, it was scheduling and relationships.
Oh,
or
yeah,
like time
right.
and scheduling, because we were dealing with that right now.
That's right. Yeah, so we're gonna do a real thing, and you're gonna see. You're actually gonna get like a preview of what the show.
Yeah, we'll be changing.
It's gonna look like
a lot,
in pieces.
In pieces, yeah. And also, like, we can mention. I mean, before, because you were talking about soapbox, we have questions prepared, and also, Pillow Talk's going to be a little bit of a shift where we announce it ahead of time, because it's not going to be on after each stream, right? So
and it'll be once a month.
Yeah. So
like a real event.
Yeah. So
not just a half hour of, so anybody want to say anything? Let's play a game.
Yeah. So we're gonna basically be able to do that, and it's not going away. Again, like it's not like we're like going
Things
away.
going away.
Yeah, no, it's like it's still there. Things are just
Except
gonna
mukbang.
change. Oh yeah, no more mukbanging. That's true.
More mukbang. I was gonna do one last night, and then I thought of who that one lurker might be, and I thought, nope, don't want to do that.
Maybe
anymore.
we might not change. Maybe mukbanging will be like the pillow talk thing that we do every month.
We'll see.
I don't know.
That could be fun.
That's just
Maybe
my
once in a
thoughts.
while we
Yeah.
just do a food party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bring your sexiest food to pillow talk.
That would be
tonight.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun openly creating and then that's why I was gonna say we we might unbeknownst need you guys more than ever. So it's like basically an open creation forum because we are shifting. We have things that we're gonna do, but we're gonna need feedback and your creative juices flowing as well. Now's the time.
All right, we're converting Webster Games into a podcast listener. Thank you. That means a lot. I know a lot of people don't like podcasts in the same way they like live streams. So I hope we don't lose too many of you because we really do value you and we're grateful for you. Yeah.
Love you guys. Love you, Alice. You know, we were talking about it frequently before where it's like, we're the only times like we live stream together consistently is when it's me and you together on Sexytime. So,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a reason for that.
Thanks for being my consistent partner, man. Fist bump.
You know me. I get it done consistently,
up.
baby. That's my pickup
Takes
line.
that shot in the dick every time. No, I'm kidding.
It's my pickup line. You want a
All right,
consistent
should
lover?
we do this thing?
Let's fuck. Yeah, okay, let's go.
Oh my.
Works
I was
every
gonna
time.
Make a comment about I was gonna make a comment
60%
about
of the
mistress
time.
ceremonies, and then you said, "What? Let's fuck," and I was like, "No, I'm gonna drop this now."
60% of the time, it works every time. Oh, I talked to her about it too, just this week because I know I had to let her know. But I actually,
how'd she feel?
oh, I was like, yeah, she was. I mean, like I was talking about basically saying you're might have to re-record things, but we talk. I mean, I'll talk to you about it too, but we probably don't. We just need to edit one part out and it will work still. So, or she can re-record either way. But yeah, she was cool with either one. She was sad to hear, but happy that we're staying together and rocking out Sexytime. So we'll see.
I would be so sad if I didn't see you every month. It would be like really weird.
Right?
Really fucking weird.
I know. Well, let's start.
Do you hear that?
What is it?
Airplane sounds from outside?
Oh, no.
You don't hear it?
No.
Excellent. Then my mic settings are perfect.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Sexytime, where we answer your questions about sex, relationships, and everything sexy in between. Don't forget, you can send your burning questions by voice or email to sexytimedlove@gmail.com. That's Sexytime, DLOVE @gmail.com. Anonymous questions are welcome. Thanks for hooking up with us today. Now, let's cozy up and join our hosts, Aliz and BK Johnsen.
Hey there.
Hey there. Welcome back to Sexytime. And you're right.
Mm-hmm.
None of that intro is going to have to change, but some things are.
Yeah, we have big announcements to make about the show, but actually podcast listeners, you're in luck. There's not going to be that much of a shift. There will be a little, but there's not going to be that much of a shift. So thank you everyone who's listening in podcast land. As you know, we were live streaming this, but we also do podcasts. We live stream the podcast, but some of these things are going to change. So thank you all for being here, wherever you're watching, listening. We really appreciate your support, and check out the description for all the links. But yeah, Alice, did you want to that's a bit about that? I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, basically, there are some various reasons for the changes, but the primary change for both of us is just that we need to streamline our scheduling And we also want to really sort of hone the focus of the podcast and make it something that everybody wants to listen to each week. And we're going to pay attention to our various different segments that we do each week and see how y'all are responding to it, how many listeners we're getting on each of those, and really notice. We love feedback as well. So as you're starting to notice some changes, if you want to tell us how you're feeling, tell us about it. You can do that at the same email where you submit any of your questions at sexytimedlove@gmail.com. So basically what we're going to do is record the podcast rather than doing the live stream. And here's a big benefit to doing that. When we're really focused on the audio and we're able to flexibly schedule it rather than doing it live, that means no more airport noises from me. Woohoo! I know you're all very excited
That's
about
true.
that.
That's true.
Right?
Oh my
that
goodness.
Means no more
Mic
bad
quality.
mics. Yes, I'm going to always have this excellent mic that our fan Oliverios lovingly donated to the show. So grateful for you for that.
That's awesome.
So I'll always be able to use that mic, and we'll always have better quality. That's a huge gain. Let's not forget about that. And also, like I said, we're going to try to tighten up the ship a little bit. Instead of, having a huge hour-long episode every week, we're going to tighten that down. We're going to do episodes where we each answer one question. We're going to do episodes where we focus on a sexy soapbox like we did months ago. We liked those sexy soapboxes, and we got a lot of good feedback about the sexy soapboxes. So we're going to continue to bring that back probably at least once a month. And occasionally we're going to do a different kind of format as well, where once in a while we just chat and we talk about the various themes and things that we've talked about for the month, where we sort of wrap up the show. We're all, like I said, we're also going to pay attention to your feedback and the numbers, and we're going to see which shows are working and which shows aren't, and we're going to pivot. And that's why we really wanted to. We're so grateful for our audience. It's grown beautifully, but our podcast audience has been growing more than our live stream audience has been growing. And we wanted to honor that by really focusing our resources where they need to be focused. And so again, we want to thank all of our supporters, whether it's just people who listen to the show every week, or people who just started listening to the show, people who support us on Patreon, which will continue, people who come to Pillow Talk, which also will continue, but only we're going to do it once a month. So it's more of a special event. So that way people who support us on Patreon, they can bring their questions, they can bring their news, they can bring their energy, they can bring their love, and we can make it more of like a party once a month that we can schedule and plan for.
It's like a roaming holiday party. It's going to be fun because we were thinking like, oh no, we don't want to lose Pillow Talk because it's always awesome. But it's also after every live stream, and if we're recording off of live stream, we don't know when to do it. So it's like, let's make it a real event. And keep that going, so you're not going to lose out on any of that, but it's going to be fun.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. So
you don't have to be a live stream fan to join our Pillow Talk now. You can join it if you are one of our audio listeners, and that's a really exciting feature, I think, to be able to. We'll let you know in advance on the show when Pillow Talk is going to happen.
Speaking of which, let's RSVP some of that, because thank you for all of our podcast listeners. That's exactly right. It's not going to be just for the live stream listeners or viewers. Podcast listeners are going to just be equally available to do that. We'll be able to announce that so you can have that date early. But as we say, it's going to be like a RSVP party. So as usual, our Patreon shout outs. Thank you so much. Monster J, Is Koala, Sure Bear, and Mark. Thank you so much for being our very long, consistent Patreons and so supportive. So thank you very much. You're all actually dungeon masters, which is fucking amazing. And again, we're looking forward to seeing as many of you who have that Patreon tier to join Pillow Talk and join the party. It's patreon.com/sexytime podcast. Patreon.com/sexytime podcast.
Yes.
So thank you again,
And
everybody.
I do want to give a special shout out again just to Singular Infinity and Captain Morgana, who helped us start this show so many years ago, to Monster J, who has been our dungeon mistress the longest, but also who's really been with us since the very beginning of Sexy Time. And you've really been along on this ride for a long time. Also, Laser Livestream. Thank you so much. Laser Livestream got me into streaming in the first place. If without him, I never would have met BK Johnsen here, and Sexy Time would never have existed in the way that it does now. So big thanks to all of you, and to all of you who are our current supporters, and also to every single one of you who has ever supported us along the way. Thank you for getting us here to a place where we feel like we have the creative energy to be able to pivot and make the show even better for you.
Cheers. Thank you so much. It's been 3 years together, and it started with Singular Infinity, Cat Morgana, and I wouldn't have met Laser Livestreams if it wasn't for you, Gills. I mean, Alice.
Well, that all goes to 𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐸. I wouldn't have met Laser Livestreams if not for 𝐬𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸. So
yeah,
these communities are so intertwined. If you've never watched a live stream, if you're like, what is that all about? Twitch, what, who, DLive, what? I don't know. YouTube Live, is that a thing? If that's you, that's okay. Like, it's okay if you're just a podcast listener and that's what you enjoy. We're going to be here for all of those listeners. But if you ever want to give it a try just to watch and hang out with some of those people, I know it seems silly. Most of it's like game playing that you're watching, right? And if you're not into that, a lot of people don't quite get it. But what I can tell you is that the community is real. The love and the support and the kindness is real. These communities are really built out of some special people. And I'm just super grateful that you all brought us here. So thank you for that.
Love of the human spirit is shown there. Yeah, like that desire for community and connection with others and support for each other. Speaking of which, I would want to shout out Zero as well, because he was always positive. Back in the day, he'd do it not like openly, but he's always been a supporter in open and in the background, saying since we started on DLive, for sure. He was always you've really helped us through some bumps and hurdles, and I love the community that you created that has now moved to Twitch. It's really a beautiful community. So hey, if you're listening to this, salute to the and order. You're interested in joining a really wonderful live stream community, feel free to email us again at sexytimedlove@gmail.com, and we'll happily point you in that direction, because there's a really beautiful community still very much thriving. Yeah, you need some sexy support and companionship. We'll guide you away. That might be one of the new features in Sexy Time. We'll see. But thank you everyone. It is more changes on the live stream side. So let's go on with the actual show, because again, we're not going to change that much. We're still going to have awesomeness. And thank you for all your questions that you keep sending in. Make sure you utilize that when you can. We're still going to be on Discord. So, but if you want to email us, sexytimedlove@gmail.com. Send those emails in as well. But we get also, you take private DMs on Discord or in our Sexy Time channel. Again, you can check that out on patreon.com/sexytimepodcast. So yeah, we'll go to questions. I have a question. Let me begin. All right. Okay, I was at a short one, a long one. Let's do it. I'm going to go straight to the weird one. Because I like to do this. I was actually going to go with the other one first, but now I'm going to do this because I like this vibe. My boyfriend, who's 19, she's 22. My boyfriend got a boner during the demon birthing scene in Game of Thrones. I think we were watching, I think it was episode 4, season 2. Not sure. Neither do I. I haven't seen that show, but thank you for maybe giving me a reference for that so I can be prepared. But it was the episode where at the end, the scary... Oh, sorry, spoiler alert to anyone who's like me. At the end where the scary red priestess woman gives birth to that shadowy demon baby thing. When we were watching, we kept saying stuff like, oh, what the fuck? Ooh. Putting that in quotes. I like that. But right after it ended, I noticed that he had a massive erection. Penis standing straight up erection. I asked him if he had like a weird pregnancy fetish or something, and he said no, but it was weird and not sexy at all in my opinion, and I thought he was in that same vibe. That whole show wasn't really that sexy. Should I be concerned about this, or what do you think I should do moving forward with this? Thank you.
I'm so amused by this question, but also I'm trying to gather all of my strength to be kind here. I think you should be worried about the level of which you are judging your boyfriend. Do you really think?
At least he said ooh. Anyway, go, yeah.
Okay, but if somebody came to you and said, what do you have, like a weird fetish about blank and blank? And you did have a thing for said whatever, say pregnancy, for example. Say somebody comes to you and says, oh, do you have a weird fetish about pregnancy or something? Do you think that they're going to say yes if they're trying to impress you? The way that you framed that question? What do you have a weird fetish for blank or something? Like, if he does have a fetish for pregnancy, he's not going to tell you now. Not the way you worded that.
That's true. Interesting. Yeah. It's very, it's instant shame feeling, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The way
he can't say yes.
That,
he can't say yes.
He doesn't,
Yeah.
there's no safety
yeah.
in responding to your question with anything affirmative. So unfortunately, until you allow him to feel accepted, no matter what his attractions or sexual turn-ons may be, he's not going to tell you if any of them are unusual. He's just not. And so by doing this, unfortunately, you've kind of closed him off to sharing with you. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know if the adrenaline of the moment was what turned him on. It could have been as simple as that. Maybe he does have a thing for blood. Maybe he does have a thing for pregnancy. Maybe he has a thing for demons. I don't know. Maybe he has a thing for the macabre, but you're not going to find out if you're not supportive of him. So my best recommendation for you at this time is to, for your own sanity, assume that his turn on was just the adrenaline of the scene, like going on a roller coaster or running really fast or something. I think giving birth to a demon baby would be a lot of like, whoa, drama. It's very exciting. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Maybe that just brought up his adrenaline and he got excited. Just assume that for now, for your own sanity. And going forward, I think it would be good for you to find ways to say to yourself in every instance where you're about to judge him, how can I be more supportive of my boyfriend here? How can I be more open-minded of the things that make him happy or turn him on or get him excited? And if you start to approach your relationship with curiosity and not judgment, I think you'll have a better time getting him to open up to you in the future about what's really going on.
I love it. I sense some demon laborer role playing in your future, lady. No, I'm just kidding. I'm totally joking. What if he says
Game of Thrones, they've got everything.
any kink and fetish you want? But yeah, I love that. And I think you did it well. It's just the truth of it is that where, I mean, we all heard stories of nightmare situations, especially in young boys going through puberty. What happens in class when you have to make that presentation? Speaking from personal experience, I never thought of it this way. I hated public speaking in general, but I always was asked to do it because I was forced to get good grades from my father. And so I'd get good grades. They want me to make these speeches. And yeah, one of those things that came up during puberty is like, oh, what if I spring a random boner that I'm not getting turned on really by specifically what's happening on around me? I have to make this speech. And all of a sudden, I've got a boner. Shit. And that's, we learned that from childhood. So again, it happens even throughout any time. There's morning wood and other things. So again, jumping quick to, oh, it must have to be that. Is what I would start, understanding. I think it's also a lesson in not just the judgment of the boyfriend of whatever he's doing, or your partner or whatever they're doing. It's basically also it's the fact of like tampering down on that problem. I've talked about it often in past episodes of. I learned this from Sex Dr. Drew. Is it Dr. Drew in like Loveline the old days, where he would talk about how
not Dr. Ruth because she was the coolest.
Yeah, no, but he was talking about often the erectile dysfunction in relationships, and that would be harder for Dr. Ruth to relate exactly to that, maybe. But but she's awesome. I know Dr. Ruth is the coolest. I miss that. I used to see that. I saw that on random shows like Quantum Leap. Anyway, shows how old I am. So does Dr. Drew. But he always talked about how a lot of the times it's because they care about and want to, and they're attracted to you so much and care about you so much that it's hard for them to get that erection. But it works in reverse, where you're trying to say, like, because usually it's the judgment of, he doesn't find me attractive. I guess we're not meant to be. It's like this. He's lying to me. He just blah, 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 or whatever it is that you're trying to look at for what's going on with him and his penis. That it's sometimes something exactly the opposite of what you're thinking. So again, not just with random boners, but also random ED, according to Dr. Drew and that. And I experienced the same thing the first time, and I'm not scared to talk about that because I'm happily married for many years now. But the first time trying to have sex with my wife was very difficult. I actually had to use aids to do that, and then after that it was fine. And I was like, oh, Dr. Drew was right. I was like, I cared so much about her that it was like really hard, wanted to impress or whatever, right? And it goes both ways, where it's like, not that you care so much about a demon being birthed with blood that you're going to get a boner. It's the opposite. It's just random, right? So yeah, I completely agree with Alice said. My advice would be to that. Go back to focusing on the love and understanding of your partner, and hopefully he gives that back. And I think there are certain things that can come up that makes you want to just like consider them as a red flag, and you always want to stay that way, but you don't want to jump to conclusions, and you don't want to look for everything that your partner is doing like that as a red flag.
You know what this reminds me of? Well, first I just want to say it's highly possible that it was like the noises of giving birth, because giving birth sounds like orgasming in some way, like the moaning and the yelling and the screaming like could have just mimicked orgasmic noises for him, and that might have done it. But this reminds me of that Friends episode. I don't know if you've seen this, where Chandler like starts a new job and Monica comes to Tulsa, Oklahoma to surprise him. And she like opens the door on him while he's watching porn. And because he doesn't want her to know that he's watching porn, he flips it over to like the Shark Week channel.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
And Monica gets it in her head that he's been jacking off to sharks. So she talks to her friends about it. She decides to get in on this, right? And so one night she gets dressed up all sexy, and he's like, oh, and she like puts him on the couch, and he gets all excited, and then she turns on like shark movies. And she starts making out with him, and she's like, is this doing it for you, honey? And he's like, what?
That's so great. It's perfect. It's a perfect comparison to this. Shark porn. And yeah. Shark porn. And
that's actually the moral of the story, is shark porn.
I love what you're saying, though. That totally made sense to me, because I would see as a coping mechanism, since she even mentioned they both were like, what the fuck is this ew type of thing. And he gave that vibe first, where he might be trying to block, or like I do this for scary movies. I don't want to see the image so I can imagine that. So then you turn away and you just hear
And
it.
all he's hearing is
All
like,
he's hearing is
"Ah,
moaning. Yeah.
ah,"
And it's like,
yeah, right,
if he's
you
actually
know?
trying to block it out in different ways, maybe squinting or moving his gaze, it would just be like all he's getting is moaning now. So yeah, I could see that totally. Totally see that. Well done. I like that. Yeah.
Oh man, shark porn. That's really the moral of the story here.
Oh, you got a question? I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay.
We're rocking along.
All right. This is a very interesting one. I don't have the gender nor the age of the questioner, unfortunately, on
Okay.
this one. We did not get all of the information here. And just so you know, if you are sending in a question, it does always help. If you want to say, you know, I'm a 22-year-old female, or I'm a 30-year-old male, or whatever, 75-year-old male, we do not discriminate. Everybody can come in. Well, 18 and older, please. But
yes.
But anyway, yeah, that always helps. And I don't mean to say just male or female. Please bring all of your gender neutral, bi, gay.
From you guys
QIA,
doing a good job of
whatever.
that. Sometimes I actually learn from that. I think I can't even remember it, unfortunately, but there was like an acronym that I didn't understand. I had to look it up, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that means. So yeah, it was great. So keep doing that, and if you do want things more anonymous, we understand that too. So always just let us know if that's the case. If not, we will always keep it anonymous, just to let you know how that works. So
That's true.
thank you for your questions.
Anyway, so this question here, this person says, I've been going through sex therapy recently, and it makes me want to undo everything I have been in the past. I want to leave my faith. I'm a Christian, and I don't know if this is a smart move, but I feel like the church and sex cannot coexist in my head. They seem to me to be completely opposite each other. I don't want to have godly sex. Oh, this does say it's a woman. Well, actually, no, it could be a man. I just want to fuck my husband. And I don't want God watching us. I don't even feel like I can masturbate or touch myself because supposedly it's a sin. My body, I've been told, is a cesspool of sin and evil.
Wow.
So if I leave everything that I know in Christianity, can I be a godless whore? But then I would feel really guilty leaving my religion just for my own sinful desires. I feel so broken, and I am so completely turned off. I don't even know what to do.
I'm so sorry. But thank you for being so vulnerable and honest about this question. It's a very important one. Personal history, if those of you who don't know, I was put into Catholic elementary school for my youth, and it turned me into an atheist for a while. And I think it was mainly because of a lot of what you're saying there, the certain judgments that trying to make you believe certain things, that's by their standards. And now that I'm not an atheist anymore, I would say that taking that step back from everything made me realize that's not the way. Like that's a human, and whatever is that belief is not basically. I mean, everything you said for me now that I've looked at that. So first up, well, it's not really like it's like society's imposition on trying to make you believe these things, and it's very difficult to hear because I understand completely. I've dealt with it in family, friends, and my past life as well. First, I want to speak at the level of religion a little bit, since you're talking about that. That to me, reading the first two commandments are exactly what's actually hitting this to me. Just if you want to relate it on that side, since you're still saying like I want to be part of the church or Christianity and whatnot, where if the 10 Commandments are valid, those two are the first two are about false gods. And I think that is the problem here, in my opinion, if you want to talk about a level of religion, that the Christianity or the church or whatever it is becoming, is they're trying to push that as the God instead of the actual things in reality. Because everything, for me personally, and again, I might be speaking out of tone, but this is what I've learned through my journey of reading the Bible a lot as both a Christian, technically that's Catholic, being raised that way, and then as an atheist, and then as a non. So I've read it many ways and many times. But I don't see anything in the actual Bible that God says about your body being a cesspool of sin and evil. I don't see any of these things of like, the first thing he says is go out, be prosperous and multiply. So I do think there's something else outside of the connection with Christianity, God, whatever it is that you're in it for, that is is out of touch with that. And that's where I think it's coming from, of what you're urged to leave your Christianity and become, as you said, a whore or whatever. So first your question was, can I be a godless whore if I leave everything in Christianity? Well, you can do that. To me, personally, I think you could do both. You can not leave Christianity and be a godless whore, or you can also leave Christianity and be a godless whore. You could do either one, because hey, what I mean, looking at Christianity, who was one of the people that Jesus already got flack for was actually the most famous whore in the world, a whore.
That's right.
And they always were like, hey, you were hanging out with whores. Jesus can't be God, and it's terrible. So where is that idea of the body as a cesspool of sin and evil if Jesus is showing us what to do in life, or if God is and showing how he treats women who are whores? There's many stories in the Old Testament of whores don't get punished that much, to be honest. Like, name me the whore where God...
Prostitution is the oldest job ever, right?
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest stories is one of the 12 tribes of Israel going into prostitutes, and he actually, the problem was that his daughter ended up dressing up as a prostitute hidden, and he had sex with the daughter and had to do that because there was other things involved. But again, like, did God punish that whore? Did God punish even the daughter trying to pretend to be a whore? No, there was none of that. So again, a lot of these things that you're being judged for, I don't think is coming from that, if you want to look at it that way. Now, if you do really want to believe in that church that you're at, then it's a different thing. And also, like, maybe you would need a different church. Maybe you need a different domination. I don't know about that as much. That's one thing if you want to stick with that. But for me personally, my main thing is from my own personal journey, and I might be wrong. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but for the sake of my advice and caring about you as a human being and everybody here, it would be just to do what's good for you, what's right for you, not for what other people are saying to say that you're bad if you do this for yourself, or if you're bad if you feel this way, if you're that, like, right? Like, you have to, what type of life will you be acceptable and enjoy? Because if you want to go back to reality, I was an atheist for a long time, so I understand it's like difficult going down that path sometimes of relating it to God all the time. So I don't think it is even God. It's like with reality and your life. The reality is that you're alive and you have a life wherever it came from, whether it's by God, fate, or whatever. And I think the important thing, whether you continue down the path of Christianity at the same time of being a whore, I wouldn't say you're godless if you're going to go down that path. I think that's impossible, maybe. But if you end up leaving and doing that for a while, I think enjoying your life and accepting what you can do in your life and enjoying the gift of life, wherever it came from, whether it's from God or from whatever you believe in. I think that's what everybody would want for you. And I think there's a big difference between religion, church, and a cult. And the more I hear how much they're making you hate your life and sex life and body and other relationships, I would say it's closer to something like a cult to me when it gets closer to that. That's for me personally. Again, and I'm not trying to judge all of them. I think church and religion, there's a lot of them that do a great job, but there is a lot that can do more harm than good sometimes. And this might be one of them, what you're saying. And I just wish you the best. If you ever want to talk about that, feel free to share more. And I hope you find more peace and happiness in your relationships in the future.
Yeah. Thank you. That was beautiful. I'm definitely hearing from you, listener, that you need some healing. And when I talk about healing, I'm not talking about Jesus healing the blind. I'm talking about self-acceptance and self-love. And you're not going to go from where you are today to believing that there's some of God in everyone tomorrow. Okay. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that you're on the beginning of a new road, and I can't tell you where that road should go, but I can give you a recommendation for somebody who I think might be able to help you down that road. We've talked about her, I think, before on the show. Her name is Brene Brown. And Brene Brown is a shame researcher. And I think you're coming through this right now with some sex therapy. I don't think it would be the worst thing for you right now to go to regular conventional therapy as well. But I do think that there's also, there's some voices who might be able to help you. And again, I'm being led by the Spirit to tell you to spend some time with the writings of Brene Brown, or the audiobooks, or the TED Talk, or the whatever you might want to find of hers. She's a shame researcher. And again, I think you're going through a lot of shame, whether it came from your parents, from the church, from your friends, from yourself. I don't know where it came from, but you're dealing with a lot of shame. And I think that starting with a book like The Gifts of Imperfection might really help you to get back to a foundation where you can see that whether it's because life is beautiful, or whether you believe that God has made everyone beautiful and unique, or whatever it is that you want to get to, the pieces of you that you're ashamed of are part of the most beautiful building blocks of life. You can't create life without sex. The idea that sex is dirty and shameful and evil is not inherently natural. I mean,
it becomes hypocritical where they say like the marriage thing, right, between man and wife, and then say, but you can't have sex. It's kind of weird.
So I don't know what specific branch of Christianity or what specific religion there you've been built up into believing, but Brene Brown, back to her, she's the shame researcher, right? And she was brought up first Episcopalian and then Catholic. And she actually, in her early 20s, it says, I don't think I abandoned faith, but I certainly abandoned church in my early 20s, kind of when politics and spirituality really got enmeshed. She said, it didn't meet my needs anymore. But she actually, a couple decades later, she went back to it with her husband and her children, where she said, I really wanted to find a spiritual home where there's room at the table for everyone. And she says, now I would say my faith is probably the organizing principle of my life. Now, I am not saying you need to leave the church and come back. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying, again, I don't know what your path is going to look like, but I think that Brene Brown might be a really good mentor for you going through what you're going through, to be able to learn how to accept yourself as you are. And whether or not you, like her, should choose to leave and come back, or you just stay with the church, or you leave it altogether and never come back and find something else that speaks to you that feels like home. I don't know what you're going to do, but what I do know is that literally life would not exist without sex.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
I do know that your life is precious. And I do know that you want to celebrate that life with your husband. And if you could look at it that way while you're fucking his brains out, I hope that that helps to give you some of the divine connection that you're really craving. And I want to send you a lot of love, because I don't know where you're going to end up. And I think that's okay. And I think it's good for you at this time to take a step back. That's why I suggested therapy. That's why I suggested Brene Brown, to figure out who you are and to find some answers within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once you do that, you're going to be able to move forward in a way that feels more powerful. And it's not going to be overnight. Like, give yourself time. My faith has morphed so much over my lifetime, and it goes in ebbs and flows. And, you know, I don't know what I'm going to think of things when I'm 80, but I know what I think of things now. And they've drastically changed since I was 20. But it was a slow change. It wasn't overnight. And you're just going to have to be patient with yourself while you figure out who you want to be and how you want to exist in this world and what's going to make you feel most at home. Don't look for what's right. Don't look for the right answer, because honestly, I learned a while ago that, you know, the fact that anything exists at all is a miracle, and it's bizarre, and it never had to happen, right? The fact that I am here right now talking to you is a fucking miracle, and it never needed to happen. Like, it's funny, it's comical, and it's unbelievable that I exist. So if somebody wants to believe that a man died on a cross and rose from the dead and saved everybody from their sins, who am I to say that that belief is ludicrous? Because it's no more ludicrous than the fact that I exist at all. So I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you exist. I'm grateful that you want to fuck your husband's brains out. And I hope you find a way to do that feels like home.
Amen. Amen. Preach, baby. Sorry, that was just perfect for the question. Preach it, sister.
That's why we're here. Cheers.
Oh, wait. So this was great. This is, I think, okay. So do you want to keep going with questions? Because this is a different one. We do. Okay, good. I was worried about time.
So,
just worried about time. That's all. But yeah.
No, this is great.
Good. Okay.
Hi, David Culp. I'm taking a break for a moment since we're discussing this anyway, and you're going to have to cut out that, right? I'm just going to take a break and look at this live stream here. We've got OG 420D live. Hey, who's that?
Yeah, who is that?
Also,
we'll go live
hey,
stream.
A Bishop. Hey, Monster J. Mary Magdalene. Oh, Mary cheated on Joseph and blamed it on God. Hilarious. You guys are getting snow. That's wild. David Culp says, no, not again. Oh, I'm guessing that you are seeing the big announcement. So hang on. We should take a little break and just for the live stream.
Yeah,
here,
we'll
just
cut here.
Hey guys. So real quick. Yes, we are ending the live stream after tonight, but we're continuing on with the podcast. The live stream is not going to be a thing, partly because of personal safety, partly because of scheduling, partly because we just want to pivot the podcast in a way that's organic, and we're growing much more as a podcast than we are as a live stream. And it just seems right to be able to devote our time and attention to better mic quality and making sure that we are kind to ourselves and to our own schedules. In fact, now might be a fun time to do our little soapbox segment, take a little break from the questions, do a soapbox segment on scheduling, if you'd like, because we can get into that and like really talk about how that's affecting us.
Yeah. I mean, wait, so we're talking about scheduling? Sorry, I was laughing at chat for a bit too, but I knew that you were going over.
Hi, chat. We love you.
Yeah.
So
what am I supposed to do?
Thanks for understanding. We're not going to be live streaming. It was true. Sorry, David. But again, we want to thank everybody who has supported us, who continues to support us. We're going to continue to put out a weekly podcast. And we will put it on YouTube. It will be on YouTube, and we will be talking. You're just not going to see my mukbanging anymore. You're going to see our pictures, but not our live streams, because I need some sanity. And aside from the scheduling, also, I just don't like being stalked. So
yeah, and Pillow Talk's going to be there. So we were talking about that before. Yes. If we can get Alice drunk enough at the party, we can get her to mukbang there.
I don't drink anymore.
I know. I'm just kidding. Or if we ask nicely, because that's how Pillow Talk works. And what happens in Pillow Talk stays in Pillow Talk, and that's not going away. And it's going to be more of like a party every month instead of after every live stream, because we can't do it after every live stream since we're going to be recording it.
That's
not
right.
on a live stream. And we'll still be
also
posting
gotten some
videos and stuff
feedback
with
from some of
pictures,
you
but
guys in
not
the
us.
live stream audience,
Yeah.
like that you're frustrated that sometimes we switch from a Tuesday to a Thursday or from a Thursday to a Tuesday, and then we don't announce it early enough in advance, and then you miss it, and it's like, so this kind of eliminates that problem in the sense that we're just going to be posting regularly once a week, but we're going to record it when our schedules work for us, rather than us having to jump through hoops to make every single Tuesday work. And we can announce in advance when Pillow Talk's going to happen once a month, so it can be that big party. You could plan for it if you want to be there, and you could really show up with whatever questions, energy, news, funness that you want to bring to the party. So, and it'll be a little longer. Pillow Talk won't be just the half hour. Hey guys, what's going on? We want to expand this show in a way that feels good and quality, and we hope you'll join us as we continue on the road.
Yeah, we can control
our own little path
with the podcast thing. We can control when we have that party on Pillow Talk, and also control exactly the day and time we release. Because again, we were trying to do that as best as we can, but we were having to roam between Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes it would be difficult to keep up with that. So with the podcast format, we can actually just say, you're not going to miss a show, and if it'll be released that day and time, and we can keep that consistent. So that will be good for all of you who listen to that. And again, we are seeing a lot of the podcasts. The people who don't partake in the podcast as much will not see a difference anyway, right? So that's good. But you're going to get some of the benefits as for you who stick around. So of that, those podcast listeners got to have that benefit for a while. So you guys get that. And Pillow Talk's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that party every month.
Party time.
Right?
Excellent.
We can do a lot of crazy things.
Do you
want
to do a question first, or do you want to do a Saturday or a
soapbox?
First.
Let's see.
Because we could do 2 more questions.
Now, I'm thinking of
and
when we
soapbox.
Oh wait, yeah. Actually, I see. Because we're gonna be doing that. Yeah.
Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do soapbox. Let's mix it up, and then we'll do that.
Okay.
All right. Let me take the time so I know when to recut, so I can grab it.
Sorry.
That's okay.
This is cool. This is part of your new job. Sorry, dude.
Time stamping. No. When it's not live, it'll be a lot easier. I hope. I just click stop recording.
Okay.
I'll be like, oh, stop recording. Thank goodness on that one. I won't have to timestamp everything. But yeah. All right. Cool. Timestamp is active. So. All right. Oh yeah. Soapbox. All right. Welcome back to Sexy Time. Thank you all for being here. Please be sure to support the show, follow, subscribe wherever you're at, wherever you're watching. Check the details for below for that. But and be sure to tip your waitress. She's a hard worker. Anyway, today we have a sexy soapbox we're going to talk about. And
Who's the waitress? I want to know who the waitress is.
Well, it's got to be Mistress of Ceremonies, right?
Oh yeah. We don't have a tip jar for her. We should make a tip jar for her.
We should make a tip jar for her. Yeah. Okay.
That's so cute.
Let's do that.
We'll think about that. We'll let you know when we make a tip jar for Mistress of Ceremony.
Maybe we'll hire Monster J on the side. Get her. Want some side work, Monster J? You want to get some tip jar for your sexy safe word? We'll see. We'll spread the love. We'll have a couple shifts of waitresses. That'd be amazing.
You're hilarious. I love this.
But speaking of which, shout out to Monster J, is Koala, Mark, and 𝐬𝐻𝐵𝐵. Thank you for being here and listening. And that's patreon.com/Sexytime podcast. If you want to be on that shout out list, check it out. All right. Sexy Soapbox is about scheduling time in relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Scheduling relationships. Did you want to go first?
Boy, do I feel that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, so, recently we've changed up the format of the show a little bit. And that's a big part of it. That's a huge part of it. I'm actually starting to write a book right now.
Ooh.
The working title is a poly person's guide to stuff. It will change. That's not going to be the name of the book. But I'm a poly person, I'm realizing, right? I've got multiple partners, I've got multiple jobs, I've got multiple interests. I live in one place and I'm based out of another for work. I sort of have multiple homes. I'm a multiple girl. Some people call that a hummingbird. I call it a poly person. You call it whatever the heck you like, but it means I'm busy. And yeah, it's one of the reasons that we've changed up the format a little bit. Aside from just wanting to improve the show, we also wanted to improve our lives. Man, how difficult it's been to try to be in one place every single Tuesday, no matter what, and to have to like completely route my schedules, all of my schedules every single month around that has been nearly impossible. So to those of you who listened through all those airplane announcements, thank you for your patience. And I'm so glad you don't have to do that anymore. But you know, it can cause a lot of strain on a relationship when you're not able to be flexible if somebody needs that level of flexibility in their schedule. And I know not everybody does, right? It's the thing about scheduling and relationships is that it all depends on the needs of both partners in the couple or throuple, or whatever your relationship scenario may look like.
Octuple.
It all depends on the people, the lovers involved. And so some people are gonna love spontaneity. I have good, beautiful friends that I haven't seen in a couple of years because I'm such a planner and they're so spontaneous. And if I look at my schedule and I say, hey, what are you doing in 2 weeks? And then they say, I don't know, ask me on the day. We never see each other because some people don't like to schedule until the day of. And this is an interesting thing with relationships because honestly, you're going to have to find somebody that either matches your scheduling needs or your scheduling style or is willing to change it for you.
Flexible.
And for whom you are also willing to change. So either you're going to have to be very flexible or you're going to have to find somebody whose planning style matches your own. For me, occasionally I can be with people who are spontaneous. And because I'm poly, I have that flexibility. But it's very rare that it actually works for me to be able to do that. Because my life is so complicated. So when I have a lover who is willing to plan a month in advance, the 2 or 3 or 4 times that I'm going to be able to see them that month, to me, that is like a chocolate fountain wrapped in a heart, you know, like it is the nicest gift to know that I matter to somebody enough for them to plan something in advance with me, or for them to be flexible enough to work with my crazy schedule. That honors me. So if you have a partner, you know, and it's also give and take, right? If your schedule is regular and your partner's schedule is changing all the time and they have to work around various pressures, if you're able to give them that stability and to be able to be flexible with them, man, what a gift. What a gift. But there will be times, you know, when you have to give and take and give and take in a relationship. And I just think it's important. It's not a thing we talk about. We don't talk about this as like a love language, but I really think that planning style is huge in dating and huge in major relationships. And if you can be aware of your planning style and your partner's planning style and what your needs are and be sensitive to those needs and try to help each other and try to move through those ebbs and flows, I think you're going to be much more likely to be able to get through anything together.
I love it. Scheduling time in relationships. This is a great topic. And what comes to mind is the question that I've heard and I made a bit of a video about it before too, of what is your most valuable resource.
I love your videos.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
And I go through a couple of them because there's a lot of different ones. Happiness, but time is one that becomes pretty universal because time is one of the resources we all have and is non-renewable, and we can spend it. And it has that high value for everybody, regardless of where you're from or where you're at. If you're still alive and kicking, you have that time. And that's one of the top ones, I think. And in the video, spoiler alert, my main one is like meaning or purpose. Because if you spend time with nothing that gives you a feeling, a sense of meaning or purpose or something like that, it's hard to get the joy, and it's hard to say that you time well spent. People can always say time wasting or whatever, right? So, but I think Sexytime and all of you people here, it matches up well with my top two, because I think time would be my second one actually. So value, bringing value or meaning or a purpose, and time. And I think it's the same with relationships, where if that relationship is bringing you some value, bringing you some meaning, giving you some purpose, and then also you're willing to spend time, and they are too. It goes both ways, as Alice was saying. So that's what I think of immediately with scheduling time in relationships, is that understanding what type of resources we all have access to and can use. And that's what scheduling time is really good for. I love how you also mentioned some people don't like scheduling until that day of, they at the last second. And it rings a bell of one of the things that is not one of the compatible things with my wife. We get in a lot of issues with that, where I like scheduling ahead for food, sometimes even, where it's like, oh, we're not going to be able to eat this food and we really want to eat this food again, but we can't go out there till the weekend, so let's do it that day, right? And she's like, always is like, I want to, I might not be in that mood that day. Or sometimes she will say, okay, we're going to go. And then that day is like, you know what? She changed the mood there. And it's like, okay. And that's where the flexibility comes in too, where I have to say, okay, I've seen enough of that it's something like that. She's very good at other scheduling, but with something is food. So is food scheduling that important for me? No, other scheduling is more important. So there's that flexibility and work on that. But to this day, we do still have those mini arguments of like, hey, I really want to eat this. Me too, but we can't until that day. Okay, let's go. And then it's like change of schedule. Or sometimes she'll say, even before we try to do that, because we failed so many times, hey, I might not feel for that food that day, so we'll try, but maybe not, So there's like that type of conversation. And also scheduling time that comes for my relationship is like date night. When things get really busy for work or whatever we're involved in, friends, family, something comes up where we have to spend time other places and we lose time together. We did for a long time have a date night, and we'd be able to create that together and work on the flexibility, understand each other through that, how we schedule, how we want to do things and stuff like that. And in the end, I do think, again, it just comes about is that value or meaning, that desire that you want to spend time with someone, because that's just being there is enough. Like a lot of the times our date nights, sometimes if we go into the negative side of things, we think it might be a failure because it's like, it's date night, but we just want to hang out and just watch TV, and then sometimes we'll just separate in the apartment because it's like she wants to watch that, I want to watch this. Okay, then we'll meet back after the show or whatever. It's like, oh no, but we're spending time together, and it wasn't a ruined thing. So again, I do think just being there is a deal that is actually bigger than we think. We think we usually can go down to negative thinking, oh, you're just scheduling me in your calendar, and then just that part of your week or whatever, and the rest of I want more type of thing, where it's like it's easy to look at it negatively for scheduling with relationships. But again, when you take a step back and think of like what's actually happening when you schedule and what that means for both of you, that you're taking time out of your day, that you want to spend that time and you want to be able to do that, but you're sometimes both busy people and sometimes not. So again, that's the way I think of scheduling time in relationships is keep on that positive side of it and work on flexibility or not. There's like a really funny
societal judgment toward it, isn't there?
Right? I think so.
Like, oh, I can't, like, it sucks that we don't have enough time together, that we have to schedule sex, for example, right? And it's like, if you're one of those couples and you have to schedule sex, schedule that sex, get that sex. And you know what? If the day comes and you don't feel like having sex, make sure that you don't force yourselves
Yeah.
into having sex. It's okay. It's like your food planning, you know, like expect to be together and with the intention of having sex. But if that, this is like the sexiest thing ever, I think, is being able to be completely present with another person, but letting go of your attachment to outcome. Like aim for an outcome, but you know what? If it doesn't happen, if you can be content just spending that time that you've planned with that person that you love, that's all that freaking matters.
Hell yeah. I mean, I get that all the time, and there is that shame or judgment on that of scheduling. I do think there is, because from streaming, I did a lot of game shows, obviously, in the past. I've done a lot of different shows where scheduling, I know you have too, where you had we have to schedule, and we do that together every time with Sexy Time, and other things we've worked on and other things we've done. And I feel that stigma or shame where it's like, you know, like people, I think it's not like appreciating it, like
we've lost the mystery if we have to schedule. Oh no.
Yeah. So it's interesting that I think that leaks into relationships too. And I love how you said that we're not talking, it's not listed as a specific love language, but it is a key part of that. Because I'd be in big trouble if I let that linger with everything. If my wife was like that way with food and everything else, I probably would fucking go crazy. but since it's just food, I'm like, okay, other things that's cool is food, and I understand that food. I understand that process of like, you know what, I'm not feeling that today, and it happens to me too, just not as often as her. So yeah, and the same thing with sex. I love how you related it to that, where it's like, yeah, go in that plan, at least you're trying, and then it goes back to me, you know, there's a lot of resources. You have more time together, right? You're going to schedule it next week or whenever it is that you schedule next time. If at first you don't succeed, try again, spend that time getting in, and then you might get a surprise one in the middle.
And don't let your judgment of scheduling get in the way of you getting laid. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you're concerned that the mystery is missing because you have to schedule things, then find another way to put mystery in. Schedule a date somewhere other than your apartment. Schedule a night to be at a hotel together. Schedule a weird, sexy date in the park. Schedule whatever the heck you want to schedule. But if you were a couple who has to schedule things in order to see each other, don't let that make you think that the mystery is gone. It just means that you guys are important enough to each other to make the time for each other.
Oh yeah. And it's, oh crap, I lost what I was going to say.
Make it up.
Make it up? Oh, no, that's a bad idea. What was I thinking? Oh no. Shit. I should have taken a note. It was something important, very important.
You know, we like, honestly, there is a world in which unscheduled sex is very sexy. Because people like being surprised, right? And I get that. And if there's a way for you to have some spontaneity mixed in with planning, great.
Oh,
great.
I remembered.
And
Go
if,
ahead, keep going.
Again, if that's like your angle and you really love spontaneity, then find a partner who also really loves spontaneity, like 100%.
Exactly where I was going.
Lean into that.
You did it. See, you did it. You actually tapped into my brain, because that's basically what I was going to talk about.
This is how long we've been doing these things.
I was going to talk about that too, the spontaneity of it, because I'm the more romantic spontaneity person in my marriage, and she is not as much on those things, even though it's reversed in food. We just talked about it, where she's more like, no, that's spontaneity. I want you to feel it that day. With the other things, I surprised her with other things, you know, like when I proposed, I didn't tell her I was flying all the way to Japan to do it. I was just at her door, and it was all spontaneous for her. Or like at other times, it's like I make romantic plans, but then make it spontaneous. I like pull audibles real quick on these dates. And sometimes she loses her shit on that too sometimes, right? Where it's like that. But that's a very important thing to look at the match as well and see that. And then you basically make the decision, is it something that you can be flexible on? Or is it like just you're going to have to work together on it to find that middle ground? I think that works for schedule and spontaneity.
Actually. I like, because you guys have like a good balance, and that's underrated. Like being able to challenge each other and make each other feel a little uncomfortable here and there where you have to stretch, that makes you expand as a person. And if you can find a partner that makes you stretch a little bit in your planning or spontaneity world, like that also can be very valuable as long as you're able to do it in a way that feels organic and feels like something where you're growing together.
Exactly. Well, that was our sexy soapbox. And if you want, like Patreon, there's tiers that you can help create some sexy soapbox moments. So check out our patreon.com. It's patreon.com/sexytime podcast and join in on the fun.
Thank you, BK.
Yeah, you can actually, if you want us to soapbox on something, go on over there, check it out. You can join our Discord. We also take recommendations. You can guarantee it with a tier, but you can also we give freebies sometimes depending on if we're like, oh, we dig that vibe. So we've done soapboxes before without having the Patreon tier. So come on over, check out the Patreon tier, get access to our private Discord, and support the show.
Come on over, baby. Yeah.
Well, I guess we're supposed to close now. Parting is such sweet, sad sorrow.
Well, no, weren't we gonna do 2 more questions?
Oh, we are, but I'm thinking in the fact of it's going to be cut off here. I guess we just like, you know what I mean? Like, because then it'll be a show for the soapbox, and then it'll be 2 questions.
Oh yeah, that's it.
So, I guess we just have to record multiple times. Until next time, stay sexy.
Oh yeah.
Stay safe.
And don't get caught in public.
That was awesome.
I forgot about that. That's really funny.
I just realized that now too, and I was like, okay, but actually, what we just did right there, I could put on the first one too after the first 2 questions and just say.
So for those of you in live stream land, this is basically what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
We're going to get together and we're going to record sections to be released throughout, the month. So it gives you a little more time if you send us your questions. And when you do send us your questions, if you send something that's like kind of urgent, needs to be addressed more immediately, let us know that in the question, please, so that we can be aware of that for our planning, because we're planners. Yeah.
Yeah. Scheduling. Yeah. All right. So
scheduling.
We'll start the new one. Right. It's gonna.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome back to Sexy Time.
Hi.
Hey. Today's a question day.
Hey.
I'm excited.
It's a question day. I love question days.
Who goes first,
so
me or
fun.
you?
Oh, well, you went first last time.
Oh, that's true. All right.
Do you want me to go first now?
Ladies first. Let's go.
This one's fun. So we've had 2 questions on this idea of aftercare. One of them was really just sort of like, what is aftercare? Which really, like, aftercare can be a lot of things. So aftercare can be whatever you and your particularly whatever your partner or whatever you need after sex to help you feel held and secure and loved, or whatever it is that you want to feel after sex. That's basically aftercare. So it sort of answers that question a little. But this question is again, this is a little bit more of I don't know who this comes from. It's an anonymous fully anonymous question. A friend of mine recently told me about the idea of aftercare, and I've only heard about that previously relating to BDSM. I think it's often what couples do instinctually after a sex session. Things like watching a movie together, or cuddling, or talking, or hugging, or playing with each other's hair. That makes sense to me because every type of sex can get intense. So aftercare, it must be very helpful to people to help them wind back down. I was wondering, though, if we do this for regular sex and not just BDSM, do we also do this? Do people also do this for masturbating? I know that you've heard, especially among men, that post-ejaculation depression can be a thing. I wonder, though, if you had aftercare, like a self aftercare, would that help take care of this sadness? What are your thoughts on this?
Beautiful question. I didn't think it was going to go there, and I love it.
Lovely.
First,
Thank you so much.
First, I'm going to address aftercare in the beginning part, where the aftercare that you thought, because you went through it was a great question, because I went through the journey of thinking only BDSM, but then thinking, oh, is it this instead? And I do agree that aftercare is very much like forecare or foreplay, and the actual middle as well. It's like it's going to be different for each person, which is why your question starts with, is it only BDSM? Well, it's going to be different for BDSM. The aftercare is going to be a little different there than it would be other times. And same when, it depends on the partners. Same thing, we had a question about cheating as well. But aftercare becomes whatever it is that's needed after it. And I love how you related that to masturbate too. If you need to clean up, sometimes it's sanitary. Sometimes it's, again, what you're talking about, just hugging or whatever it is you're talking about there, the hair, all the other different examples. Sometimes it's removing evidence, but that's between me and my wife.
Oh, stop it.
That's the cleaning up, But
do I need to bring a black light when I come visit you across the world over there?
You might.
Oh,
It'll be awkward when we offer you our bed to sleep in, because that's probably what we'll do.
I'll borrow my partner's black light. He likes to bring it sometimes to hotels. He thinks it's funny.
I should do that, actually. I should get a black light. I'd be curious. But anyway.
Take it to a love hotel. See how
oh no.
See how clean they make it.
We'll never do a love hotel if we do that. Anyway, so masturbating aftercare, the actual end of the question there, which is great. I do think it's fantastic, where I think, a couple questions ago, or a lot, recently we've had questions a lot about like those certain things that cause self-shame, whether it be something to do with masturbation, how you're doing with your partner, or societal influences, parental guidance, whatever it is, those types of shame. And I think that comes a lot with post-ejaculation depression, as you're talking about, where I think the aftercare is to make you stronger on that front, in my opinion. And it's the same thing with non-masturbation, that the aftercare will make you a stronger couple. It'll make you a stronger individual if you do aftercare. That's what it's for, instead of just, letting it handle itself. I think that's also a warning for couples worried about aftercare too. Sometimes it goes down to that path of like the soulmate thing, where it's like it'll take care of itself without even, like you said, instinctually. And I think that can be sometimes a detriment or a warning of like, you want it to just handle itself, where sometimes you do need to make adjustments, where it's like aftercare shouldn't be that hard, and it shouldn't be hard, but I think it will change depending over time and depending your partner and relationship. And the same thing goes with masturbating. In the beginning, you might need a lot of aftercare to help with your post-ejaculation depression, and later you might not. It depends on what you're doing and how you're doing it, and what is your aftercare for that. Again, there's always going to be the sanitary, the cleanup, making sure you're not doing anything illegal, getting caught masturbating in public, all those things, But I'm talking about post-ejaculation depression. One interesting thing about that, we have talked about it before, where the ejaculation or the orgasm, the hormones. Now, again, I'm pulling this out of pocket. It might be exactly accurate, but it's about like scientifically, it triggers a wanting to connect with someone, right? After an orgasm, we've talked about that before, and that part of it, I think that's part of the depression comes from, is that expectation of thinking, I have no one to connect with but me. I'm, this is bad or whatever, like that shame again. And you get these thoughts from wherever it's coming from. So again, the more you actually do aftercare, I think, is preparation for that, knowing that there might be some hormonal things going on. There might be some physical things going on. There might be a bunch of things going on. And the aftercare is to make sure that everything's okay. Because if you've ever masturbated before, and you're listening to this and asking these questions or talking or just listening in, things are okay. Like you didn't become the next spawn of Satan or an evil, terrible person because of it, right? So again, you did some aftercare there, but again, it just depends on your focus, is why do you need that aftercare? And it'll be different for each one. That's my thoughts on aftercare.
I kind of want to piggyback what you're saying here about aftercare with masturbation. What does it mean? You were just saying, BK, that there's that feeling after sex that makes you want to connect with someone. So my question for you, listener, would be, what most makes you feel like you're connecting with yourself? What makes you feel like you're most yourself? And I'm not I want to say that it's probably not something that disconnects you from reality. I want to say that it's probably either meditating, feeling your emotions in that moment, spending time daydreaming, just being with yourself. You could go in the mirror if you wanted and connect with yourself however the hell you wanted to do it. You could talk to yourself if you wanted to. We had some recent questions about spirituality, if it helps you to connect to yourself, to pray, or, I mentioned meditation, take a bath, pamper yourself in some way that makes you feel whole. What is it that allows you to deeply connect with yourself in that moment? That is what I want you to try to do if you're going to try to do self-care after masturbating. And if your answer to that is, I really love this Netflix show, my first answer would be like, try to do it without something that's going to distract you first. And if you're like, but no, this is really my jam, then take out that jam, but be fully present for it. Don't be on your phone also while you're watching whatever you're watching. Be fully present in whatever task or whatever thing that you decide to do to just be with yourself after that masturbation session, and see what you feel like after that. Because if you can really single task or just drop in with yourself, I really think like daydreaming or meditation like might be kind of ideal for that. Touching yourself in a lovely way that makes you feel good. There are some really wonderful self-care loving meditations you can look up on the Calm app or the Insight Timer app, or whatever app is around your country that helps you to be able to meditate. There's so many of these apps, and you can look up different topics, and self-love meditations are freaking awesome. Highly recommend them. Because as much as you've ever loved another person, you are worthy of the same love for yourself. And so if I love this idea, listener, I love this idea of masturbation aftercare. I do want to say real quick in relation to the question, you said that you think that aftercare is something, BK even mentioned it, that you do instinctively. And there may be some things that yes, people do instinctively for aftercare, but the concept of aftercare, especially as it comes through BDSM communities, is really a designed thing. It's really a conversation that you have with your partner or your lover about what they need after sex, in advance of having sex, so that you can give that to them before they, like you said, go through whatever intense sex session you're going to go through. So do the same thing for yourself.
Excellent. Yeah.
Before you masturbate tonight, if you're listening to this,
all right, okay, yeah.
Before you masturbate next, design for yourself how you want to give yourself that self-love and that aftercare afterwards. And maybe your answer is, I just need to sleep afterwards. Well, if you want to give yourself any kind of aftercare, it could last 5 seconds, right? It doesn't have to last 5 years. It could be 5 seconds, or it could be 50 minutes, whatever you want to give yourself. Design it before you masturbate for your next session, and let us know how it went.
I love it. I loved how you said, because when you're talking about that connecting with yourself and disconnecting with reality, I was like, oh yeah. So this is what I want to say. I just want to piggyback off this. I love that. If you use porn to masturbate, it's especially crucial, because we've talked about it many times, where it's like porn is a fantasy. It's a disconnection from that. And you're starting to if you start trying to think you're relating it to yourself, it's like, no, you're disconnecting with reality. And all masturbation is like that. You don't have to use porn, and you're still disconnecting with reality, because that person that you're masturbating to, or even if you're masturbating to just anything, not even a person, like a wall. I wasn't saying anything else, but anyway, sorry, I had to do that. But you're disconnecting with reality a bit. And I love how the idea of the aftercare would be to connect you back to reality of yourself, your true self, right? We often think of masturbation as the break, the release. But actually, I think it is important to take the break after the break to reconnect with yourself, because that act of masturbation, whether you use porn or not, is actually going to disconnect with the actual reality for a little bit, and you're melding a bit of the reality of yourself with it. But then I think you need to take a little bit of a break of aftercare after that, however it is. And I love the meditation ideas or whatever works for you. Trying to use an app for that, it's awesome. But to reconnect with yourself, that would be an awesome aftercare that I might actually start trying more, because I do think for me personally, that does get in that weird mindset of the masturbation is the break, where then I go back to work, but there's that disconnection of reality. I need to get back into reality before I get back to doing something. And I think through this question, thank you for asking, and through Alice, you're also answering that, I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to try this out and do better at aftercare after masturbation. Yeah, thank you. That was a great question.
Yeah, I want to challenge everyone. Seriously, before your next masturbation session, think about how you want to take care of yourself afterwards.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself and then take care of yourself.
Yeah. That you deserve it. All right, here's a question.
Have a good time.
Oh, yes.
Do we say this here? No, we don't say this here. Please go on. I'm confused by the new format.
No worries. Stay sexy.
Always.
Anyway, here's the question. Hi, I love my boyfriend. We've been together for almost
love or left?
It says love.
Oh, thank you.
She wrote love. We've been together for almost 2 years, and we live together with 2 cat children. I like the way you said that. That's awesome. I'm happy with him and with our sex and with our life, and the sex is good when we both feel well enough to have it. I actually have a real shitty self-esteem and a bit of an autoimmune issues, so that's why sometimes it's not as much as I hope. I've known I was bisexual since I was as young as 11, though. I love women. The older I get, the more attracted I am to women, and the less attracted I am to men. I've been with women before, but never in any form of long-term intimacy. But my conservative family environment definitely instilled a fear of public homosexual relationships in me. I actually, at this point, don't want to even consider myself bisexual. I personally feel 100% attracted to women only, aside from the one man I love and share a domestic partnership with. I also feel an urge to explore this, and I feel like unless I do it, it will become an underlying issue in my psyche. I've been realizing a lot of things about myself lately, and I'm noticing a lot of change in my life, and as this all grows, so does my curiosity over my sexuality and my desire to pursue a woman. I need help. I know I shouldn't compare myself to others, but it may be the only way I can measure my desires and find out whether I'm alone or not. Do you have any advice for me in my situation?
Thank you so much for bringing this question. I so appreciate you. And, like I would say 2/3 of the way through that question, it's just like everything dropped in and felt so deeply real and true and important. And man, I gotta say, I in this moment, I'm so grateful for my poor 22-year-old self. How old is this woman? She's 19
She didn't say an age.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Let me think. I'll double check though. Let me double check.
I thought I heard 19 and 22, but I might just be imagining things.
Nope, no age.
Okay, I'm imagining things. Great.
But they've been together for 2 years, so I don't know if that. But they didn't. If she's been together with the man 2 years, is what she said. But that's the time. It
just reminds me of, and also honestly, like my mid-30s self. I'm so grateful to the part of me that had to go through hell to get me to where I am now. The part of me that had to stand up and say, shit, I love you, but the situation that I'm in right now doesn't feel like me. And I need to see where this goes because I owe it to myself to do that. And those are the hardest things. Those are the hardest things to say. This is sometimes breakup territory, right? Sometimes divorce territory. Sometimes opening up the relationship territory, whatever that territory is that you're about to wander into, this conversation that you need to have, you really need to have with this man, may open up one of those things, right? You may end up opening up your relationship. You may end up ending your relationship. And that's hard. That's the struggle you're having, is that you genuinely love this man, but also you genuinely love yourself, and you're feeling these desires, and they're very strong, that you are finally, look, wherever you are in your life, your whole life, you've been influenced by this background that doesn't look favorably upon same-sex relationships. And still, finally, you're at this point in your life where even with all of that conditioning, you are saying to yourself, I need to explore this. This is real. This feels like something I have to understand and be with. And that voice is only going to get louder the longer you wait. And your relationship is going to be harder to navigate the longer you wait. So I'm not saying pull off the Band-Aid, because it's not quite the right relation. Like, you want to be gentle here, right? It's not like I'm telling you to go blurt this out. But find the right time and have this honest conversation with your husband. Let him know how you're feeling. Talk through it together. You may have to talk through it more than once. And it's okay if you're afraid of what comes next, because you don't know what comes next, and that's okay. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable here, because this is brand new territory for you, and this is brand new territory for him. And I don't know what it's going to look like on the other side, but I do think you owe it to both of you to tell him the truth and to have the conversations you guys need to have to get to the next journey you're going to take, either together or apart. And it might be good for you, before you have that conversation, to meditate a little bit, or spend some time in therapy, or spend some time talking with a really good friend who knows you very well, and just get some good perspective on what you think you might want on the other side of this.
I agree completely.
And be open to what he has to say, but it's important for you to walk in having some semblance of an idea of what you might want.
I love it. It's bringing back flashbacks to my first love. We talked about that a bit, of our history of our situation and relationship situation and our backgrounds and our bios. That's where we actually started a long time ago with Sexytime. But like, yeah, my first love basically completely crushed my heart with something like this. But it's after now, looking back at it all the time, she was very strong and honest with that. She was the one who did that to me, saying, hey, I have to be honest with myself. I owe it to myself to do that. And as Alice was saying, it's like she was basically saying, I love you, but it's not going to work for me, right? And broke my heart, and it was very difficult. One thing I'd like to add on that is it takes time. That's why I was talking about therapy and other stuff. You're in a tough spot right now, and then thank you for being vulnerable to share this with us and ask for our advice and experiences on it. But that's why I'm talking about this, where it's like it's going to probably take some long time, so don't try to think it's over, I finally just have to do that and I'm free to do it, like it'll just be me and it'll be done. Like, no, it might take some time, but in the end, I do think, who knows what the path is going to be on and what you find when you go there, or what happens. But I do think that that whenever things like this has to happen, that experience will actually make things better in the end. For me personally, I would never have met nor stayed with my current wife if that hadn't happened to me. Where my partner at that time was telling me it's not good for her. I remember it did get a little spicy at times with her, like, wait, are you saying that you want to get married? I'm like, oh, well, if that's what you want. And she got so angry at that. I'm like, oh, no, I'm just saying I love you. That was part of the things that come up. But again, and that's why I brought that up, because Alice, I do believe Alice, it's important to be gentle and honest, but gentle as well sometimes. Where it's like, okay, stay out of the looking at for reasons to break off or to do whatever it is that you decide. I'm not saying break off. You could work it out. It depends on each person in that relationship. But whatever it is, be honest and take the care to go in that vibe of caring about them, not just looking for reasons to make it easier to do, right? I think that's one thing that you'd have to be careful of. And one thing for you personally, for you, I believe it's in my book, Before You Fall, you only need one side to take any progress. You only need one side for progress. And you can be the one to do that here. I think it's very, again, for me, from my point of view, it's very strong and honest. And at that time, back when I was younger, I didn't feel that way about her, that she was being strong and honest. But looking back, it was, and she was the one. I wasn't the one to do that. I was living in that, I was being honest and expressing myself, but myself wanted to be together, where she was like, no, this is not going to work, and here's why. But you can be the one to do that. You're definitely have that in your question. But again, you don't have to go full extreme and say it's over. It's just being honest and being gentle and being and owing it to yourself. And if they do care about you, which I'm sure they do, since they've been living with you, and you're saying it's still great, even though you're only attracted to him only, and everybody else you're not, and you want to explore that. It just is going to be a thing between you two. I think that's the way it would be. And I again, sadly, all my advice is be honest and gentle and stay strong, because it's going to be hard to do that. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's hard answering this or giving advice, because it's like, it's not fun to say, yeah, you're doing the right thing by making it so hard on everything or doing the hard task, doing the hard thing. And it's going to be hard. But I think, again, take support from whoever does care about you. And there are many people out there, even people like us who are just streamer friends or live or podcast friends, of asking advice from that we do care about you, and anyone who does care about you would want you to do that for yourself.
Yep. This is a perfect example of transitions are hard, right? We can't even remember that we've switched over to podcasting.
Right? I was like, wait, I said live stream. We're not live streaming anymore.
No, it's great. The transitions are hard. Sometimes it is hard to let go. And this is a perfect example, because, it's sometimes you have to realize that, like, hey, this path that I'm on is amazing and I love it, but I have to let go of it to move on to something that I think is going to serve me better and suit me better in my life. And that's hard when you have a partner. BK and I, we had to go through quite a few discussions before we came up with what we wanted to do moving forward with Sexytime. And I'm so grateful that I have an understanding partner here, a co-host in this case, who's able to pivot and chat and create and find new ways to work together with both of our needs in mind. And I hope and I believe that you will find this as well with your partner. And it may be that in order to move forward, you do have to split up. And if that happens, again, I just want to recommend that you honor the relationship that you have together, and remind him and remind yourself of all the good things that you have shared. No matter what happens, remember who you are and what you've been together, so that you don't have to lose all of that. Because, like one of my mentors says, Dan Savage, the relationship does not have to last forever to be a success.
I think that's
so. However you move forward, make it successful.
I love that. Yeah, that's true. And it's perfect of a reminder of that transition from live stream to podcast. It's like, whatever we do, Alice, we're going to make it successful.
Let's make it successful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that. Thank you for being a flexible partner, co-host as well. We're both very flexible. If you
Yeah,
know what
and
I
our
mean.
listeners are as well. We're so grateful to all of you. Again, just a shout out to all of our amazing supporters, everybody who supported us along the way, past, present, future. We are so grateful for you. Do we already do the shout outs?
No, we should finish with that. Let's sexy shout
got it.
out, baby. Patreon. Thank you again. If you want to be on the sexy shout out roll call, it's patreon.com/sexytimepodcast. And big thanks to all of our Patreon's listeners. But here's a shout out for our sexy Monster J. It's Koala, Surebear, and Mark. Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
so awesome and
We
supportive.
love you guys.
Well,
No joke.
that's the show.
That's the show.
Thanks, Alice. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you next. Well, we'll hear you next. You'll hear us next time.
You'll hear us next time. Until then, stay sexy, stay safe.
Stay safe and don't get caught in public.
Hey, yeah, we're getting
That
used
was
to
a
it.
double stay
We're getting
safe
used to it. I
before
know.
I talked
I know.
over you.
Well, there's a reason.
Woo! What is that about orgasming with someone else?
Oh no, it was
that's always nice.
Yeah, that's that's
Woo.
why we do what we do.
Yeah, we did it. So that was a lot. That was 3 episodes. We didn't get that 4th one in yet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that was 3. That was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I am realizing as we're doing this that our shout outs will have a delay.
Yep.
Right.
That's true.
So when new people support us, they may not hear their name for like a month. So
We actually can we can actually put it in the audio.
We could put that
because it's
in.
audio. Yeah, we
That's
could
true.
actually just
You're
slip it
right.
in and say
You're
like
right.
shout outs, and we can actually what is it called? What do they call it when you go back and do that backdate or something like that? I don't even know.
I don't know.
But yeah.
OG, I'm glad you could catch it too. Thanks for being here.
It is
OG, what is your D live stream name?
Yeah, you did get to catch the last live stream. It's a monumental event, but we'll still be here, just not live streaming.
We will still be here. Hey, Bishop, thanks for stopping by. Good to see you, man. We haven't seen you in a while. Elsar popped in earlier. Thank you for being here. Who else do we get?
Sure
We
Bear,
got,
Monster
of course, our
J.
Monster J, David Culp, Sure Bear. Am I missing people?
Kickspot.
Oh, yeah.
Is that Kicks?
That was
Is that
cool.
really Kicks, or do we not know you?
We got
And
Webster
if we don't
Games,
know
of
you, welcome. Yeah,
course.
Webster Games.
We got a lot of Manamanas from Ravi and Sarana.
Wait, it's
I
the
think
same
that
name. We don't. So you don't know. This is the first time you've met us. Is that true?
Oh.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Get her in, you monster. Oh, my. That's coming in with a bang.
Holy crap. Well, I'm sure Monster. I mean, you did say you knew Monster J, so I'm sure Monster J has talked all about us all the time. That's the
Do
way.
I know OG 420 D Live TV?
Do I not know you? You said hi to me.
God, it's been so long since I've been on D Live.
OG420 D Live TV. If it's the same TV, I know everybody who paid me subs. No, I'm just kidding. Because that's all that I care about. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop it.
No, I remember a lot of people, even the non-subbers. And
the
I
name
can't.
seems familiar to me.
OG420 D Live TV, really? For a second,
He's got a very cute profile.
For a second, I thought you were
That's all I know.
B, to be honest. I was like,
He's
is
also
that
got a very cute
Bumblebee?
profile photo.
Well, so does Bumble.
Big fan of the Bumble man.
I couldn't tell. I'm sorry I forgot you if you did come onto my channel before, man.
Oh, Goiter.
Goiter. Okay. Because OG420, I was like, wait, are you talking about?
Yeah, we got you. That's a solid
I remember Goiter.
name change.
Okay, yeah. That's just, I was like, wait, I don't remember OG420 live.
That's
D-Live.
a solid name change. Yeah.
What's up,
No. I remember Goiter 420. That's great. Oh, yeah. He's cute,
oh, my
right?
God.
Yeah.
You scared me
I'm
for
gonna
a sec,
start
man.
calling Bumble. I'm going to start calling King B. I'm going to start calling him Bumble Man.
Bumble Man?
Tell me that's not a cute name.
What's up, Bumble Man? Oh, it's cute.
Hey, Bumble Man.
I like to call people Candyman, whoever does cocaine.
Hey there, Bumble Man.
Hey, Candyman.
Hey
Bumble
there,
Man.
OG Man.
OG man. Oh, okay, yeah. Monster J said goiter. I was like, It's like, wait,
I know. I was like, that's goiter.
I didn't. It's like, wait,
is
what?
this a typo?
I know. I didn't see it until he said go to
That's
420. I'm like,
golden.
oh,
Did she mean to say like that's golden? Like, I'm like, what is that? I'm just gonna.
that's a wizard, Annie. Yeah, sorry, that's a Star Wars reference.
Oh man, I'm gonna miss this like rambling with everybody. I really am.
That's why we have pillow talk. That's why it's like we'll still have something. Yeah, we've thought this through. We can still have these rambles together, and on video, it's pillow talk, and we'll keep moving forward and progressing and making things awesome as we go together. So, thank you.
Oh, this is my last one.
Oh yeah, this is your last live stream.
It's my last little.
I'm sad, but let's get happy.
Weird, man.
Last pillow
It's
talk
weird.
too after this. Well,
It's weird.
last not monthly pillow talk.
Well, last
shorty live stream.
shouty pillow talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say my name. What is that song?
Say my name. Say my name.
No, not that one. The other one. That's not my name.
Oh
That's not my
yeah.
name.
I remember that.
That's a cute song. They call me Stacy, right?
I call you Alice. You call me BK. I love you all.
That's not my name.
Thank you. Thank you for being here, everybody, for being here for this, and all the times you've listened or watched wherever you're at.
It's kind of my name.
I hate goodbyes, but it's not really goodbyes. So fuck that. I love you all.
We'll hear you later.
We can say that instead of smell you later. It's perfect.
Hear you later.
We'll hear you later.
We'll see you later in Pillow Talk.
Yep.
For those of you, come to Pillow Talk. For those of you who can and want to come to Pillow Talk, we'll be there in 5 minutes.
I want to come. I'll see you. Yeah, this is the last
Soon.
one of this. Love you.
Cinco.
See you
Cinq
next time in podcast land
minutos.
or wherever you catch us. Again, we'll still be doing YouTube videos. It'll just be a little bit different. Love you all. Until next time.
We'll be back.
Stay sexy. Stay safe.
And don't you dare get caught in public. We fucking need you for later.
Fuck yeah.
I love you. Bye.
The internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. So grab your dick and double click. The internet is for porn.
Thank you so much for coming along with us on this episode of Sexy Time. The party goes on after each show with unfettered access to your hosts in an uncensored and private live segment we call Pillow Talk. Become a Sexy Time subscriber to join in on the fun at patreon.com/sexytimepodcast. That's patreon.com/sexytimepodcast. It is always a pleasure to see you there. If you've enjoyed our company and would like to support us, be sure to tap that share button and spread the love. Join us again next week wherever you listen to podcasts for another Sexy Time. Until next time, this is the Mistress of Ceremonies sending her love. Stay sexy.